This is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good afternoon, I'm Ray Collins, and for Scott Dennis, our top story, a local driver makes his first appearance in court today on charges he caused a crash on I-75 while drunk, injured 3 children, and then left the scene. Our Marla Spence was in the courtroom today where he appeared and joins us now in the studio. Marla?
Good afternoon to you, Ray. Billy Noel Catherwood, a man accused of a DUI hit and run, was in a Manatee County courtroom this morning. Now, Catherwood faces 11 charges of DUI, damage to a person or property, and failing to stop and remain at a crash, just to name a few of those charges. Now, Manatee County Judge Mark Singer stated there was not enough evidence to back up those charges, while the state attorney's office worked to gather documents and evidence. Judge Singer says he's appointing a public defender to represent Catherwood. He's expected to be back in the courtroom tomorrow morning. Now, with New Year's Eve Sunday, the concern of drunk drivers are on many people's minds. According to Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, 48% of highway deaths are on New Year's Eve, and they are all alcohol-related deaths. Now, AAA says that's why they've implemented a service to lower the number of alcohol-related deaths.
Which is why AAA, Budweiser, and the National Foundation have teamed together to try to help people not be intoxicated and on the road, to give them an option if they are. A lot of people don't like to leave a party via a cab or whatever because they want their car the next morning.
Now, if you don't want to leave your car behind and you need a ride after one too many drinks, AAA is offering their tow-to-go service. They'll take you and your car within a 10-mile radius. Back to you, Ray.
All right, thank you, Marla. Sunday, of course, is New Year's Eve, and 25,000 people are expected in downtown Sarasota for the annual Pineapple Drop. So several roads will close this weekend, including Central Avenue from 1st Street to Main Street, Pineapple from 1st to Main, First from Central to Pineapple, Lemon from 1st to State, and Orange from Main to Central Avenue. An update now in Sarasota, where traffic will soon be reduced to one southbound lane on US 41 between 10th and 14th Streets. The first steps include removing the center median. The slight detour takes effect in about 2 weeks. We talked to a local fire chief about whether the big trucks will be able to get around the traffic circle fast in emergencies.
Roundabouts are approved through the fire department to make sure that the turning radiuses for our largest truck make it through the roundabout. Now that includes coming off the roadway on the center little curbing. They call it Miami curbing on the inside. So we look at the specifications of each roundabout, and if you see our ladder trucks, which are one of our largest vehicles, go up on that inner circle of the roundabout, that is actually made for doing that.
Now, the project should take about a year and a half to complete. Well, chill in the air. Are we heading down that way already?
What's that?
You had said this weekend was going to go downhill.
Yeah.
Are we heading that way already?
I'm afraid so. A little bit cooler, a little bit cooler today, you know, just by a few degrees. But yeah, this is nothing like what we're going to see next week.
Really?
Yeah, I think next week is going to be a shocker to a lot of people after we've enjoyed such warm temperatures and mild conditions for so long. And you know, I mean, even today, the temperatures that we see today are pretty much what we normally would see, the averages for this time of year. But it's just been so abnormally warm that we forget that this is December on the Suncoast, you know. Next week, not so much. Next week is going to be decidedly cooler. We'll talk about that in a second. Started the morning off with a little bit of mist in the air and a little bit of patchy fog here and there. No alerts were issued, but it was still around. Skies cleared somewhat. We got some warmth going on, and clouds have kind of rolled back in. That's the way it's going to be today, kind of a mix of sun and clouds. Right now, kind of cloudy, 64 the air temperature outside, with that north wind blowing at about 10. Lots of cloud cover, but holes in the clouds as well. I think tomorrow will be a much sunnier day. By the way, red tide is back here on the Suncoast. We have some issues in places. Reports in Sarasota with a kind of a moderate amount of red tide being reported, but Nokomis and Venice, the jetties, both have high levels of red tide in the water there. The good news is those winds should remain offshore. We'll have the forecast for you for the big celebrations this weekend coming up in just a few.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. A 3-year-old playing with burners on a stove is now suspected in that fatal fire last night that killed 12 people in the Bronx. ABC's Linda Lopez reports.
In brutally cold temperatures in New York last night, firefighters battled the flames in this building on Prospect Avenue in the Bronx, responding to the scene minutes after receiving the call just before 7 last night.
Fire on multiple floors.
In what New York City's mayor called the worst fire in the city in a quarter of a century.
This will rank as one of the worst losses of life to a fire in many, many years.
A line of gurneys coming away from the building as first responders rushed victims to the hospital. Residents forced out into the freezing cold.
I came out through the window.
You came out through the window?
Yeah, there was smoke everywhere.
But the flames moving so fast, spreading through every floor of the building, that many never made it out of their apartments, including a mother found with her baby in the bathtub of one apartment, both deceased.
It is the time of year where people celebrate, and certainly here we have people who've lost their lives, lost their homes, lost everything.
Residents who managed to escape wrapped in Red Cross blankets on the scene, staying warm on city buses that were brought in to provide heat. And the fire commissioner confirmed for us that this fire started on the first floor of the building, and it was started by a child playing with a stove. He went on to say that the child was a 3-year-old who had a history of playing with the burners on the stove. Linda Lopez, ABC News, Bronx, New York.
And speaking of fires, after nearly a month off, many students in Santa Barbara will be returning to school next week in California. But there will be a lot of cleanup still between now and January 2nd. Crews are clearing ash from playgrounds and parking lots on 20 campuses around the city. It all comes from that Thomas wildfire, the largest wildfire in the state's history. Santa Barbara schools have been closed since December 7th because of that fire.
We want our parents to know that our schools are ready to welcome all of your students back. They're safe, they're clean, and I think kids are anxious to go back to school. At least the ones I've talked to says, yeah, I'm getting kind of bored at home.
Crews had to clean nearly 2 million square feet of space. All school HVAC systems were also replaced. Well, if you're with Florida Power and Light, you might have to start paying more to help the utility pay for damage from Hurricane Irma. FPL is looking to recoup $500 million for storm costs and replenish their reserve fund. This means the typical customer will start paying about $4 extra a month for 3 years. By the way, FPL customers are still paying $1.26 on a storm charge from the 2004 and 2005 hurricane season. And speaking of money, let's talk about Wall Street now. Jeff Stern joins us. And Jeff, this is that week between Christmas and New Year's, so relatively quiet on Wall Street as well?
Ray, that is correct. Volume has been extra low, more so than even in the past year. So far, the Dow is up about 0.25% for the week. NASDAQ's negative about 1/15 of a 1%, while S&P is positive, but just barely. We know oil went up to over $60 a barrel, so that was positive. And the 10-year Treasury is still 2.43% or so, so staying right around there. Let's see how we're currently trading. The futures were up when I woke up, and unfortunately we're down right now. 24,804, down 32 points, 0.13% in the negative. NASDAQ 6,932, down 17.5 points. That's 0.25%. S&P 2,684, down 3 points, 0.12 in the negative.
Now, I read consumer confidence has been up more than it's been in 17 years. 2017 overall has been pretty steady. How does 2018 look, Jeff?
Ray, that is correct. 2017 has been strong. Let's recap. The Dow's up about 26%, NASDAQ 29%, and the S&P is 20%. As you mentioned, the numbers have looked good. Consumer confidence is positive, better than it has been in 17 years. We're at record 86 months in a row for adding jobs. That's the longest run since 1939. Wage growth, as we know, has not been as strong, but we'll try to keep that going. 18 states are going to raise their minimum wage in 2018. The tax bill should help a lot of that. You know, there was some good news, bad news, ugly. It was all over the place, but the markets were relatively calm and only went up this year. That was pretty positive. Actually, Argentina was the strongest market. 2018 we think should continue. Apple's got some negative news coming out, so we'll see how that affects Apple. But overall, we think we're still going to add jobs, maybe not as aggressively as we have, but they should be rising. Interest rates should be on the rise as well. We're going to really pay attention, see how the Treasury moves, because as we know this year, the Treasury rate didn't move as much as we would have thought on rising rates, but we'll see how the new Fed does. And overall, we think we will be positive for 2018. Not as strong as we were for this year. We can't go back and try to replicate what we did in 2017, but again, stay invested, be invested, and have a long-term strategy. That's what we believe, Ray. Don't try to make up if you missed out in 2017. We don't see these years too often. No,
good year, that's right. All right, Jeff, have a good weekend and a good new year.
Yeah, and you as well, Ray.
All right, thank you. Still to come on your Suncoast News, a new survey on Americans and alcohol. The results may surprise you. A fund drive is underway to help a local music teacher who has spent years helping others make beautiful music. And President Trump has a spontaneous sit-down with the New York Times. Details on the way.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is brought to you by Sunset Cadillac.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC 7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
It's the holiday sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKX Sport Utility for $349 per month, or Lincoln's flagship, the 2017 Continental, for $449 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury. Winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Sun Coast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, it's going to be a cooler day today, and the temperatures have just not risen all that much. We have had a little bit of sunshine, though, and that's, I guess, helped to kind of brighten the day, but clouds roll in from time to time. This frontal boundary is still kind of chugging southward, slowly creeping southward. And as long as it's around until it washes away, we get a little bit of cloud cover around, more than average. 64 degrees the air temperature. Dew points now are falling, though, coming in at 57, and we have established a northerly wind flow all morning long. It's at about 10 right now. That northerly wind helping to draw down some drier air, so that should mix away some of the cloud cover, because it's not only at the surface, it's also aloft. We're getting some drier air moving in, so that should help in bringing us some a little bit more sunshine, especially tomorrow. 63 degrees in Parrish, 64 in Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch. Myakka coming in at 65. Wauchula comes in at 64. 6 in Arcadia, 67 degrees in Northport, 66 in Venice. Inglewood and Longboat Key comes in at 64 degrees. So across the region, you can see this cloud cover kind of all associated with this meandering, sprawling, not so strong frontal boundary sinking southward. In fact, if you took away the cloud cover, our temperatures would be very similar to where they were yesterday. In a lot of respects, it's the cloud cover that's kind of keeping our heating down. But the north wind is also drawing down some cooler air. So the combination of the two keeping our temperature today about 8 degrees cooler than it was yesterday. And that temperature will feel positively balmy come next week when some really cooler air starts to filter down. We're looking at quiet conditions now. Despite the cloud cover, we're not getting any rainfall across our region. In fact, most of the nation is pretty quiet. We have a little clipper sinking southward, producing some plains and some heartland snows. And the Pacific Northwest is still kind of a sloppy mess with an onshore wind flow creating rain showers along the coast and snow at the higher elevations of the Cascades. Most of the nation pretty quiet right now, but certainly there is some colder air back behind this system. As this clipper sinks southward, it draws a cold front along with it, and our cold front eventually just washes away. The low continues to drift south. We get that frontal boundary sinking into our area, and back to the west as that front sinks southward, a little area of low pressure develops on it. What we will be watching over the weekend is the exact position where that low pressure develops, and then on Sunday into Monday exactly where it tracks, whether it's a little closer to us or a little further away. A lot of that will influence just how much colder air we eventually start to drain down into Florida over the course of the next week. A little bit colder today, rain-free with some sunshine around, and then we watch that second front as it approaches. The good news is it should be just fine for our New Year's Eve celebrations. The pineapple drop should go on without a hitch, with a little bit of cloud cover around, perhaps building in again as that low develops back to the west, but don't really see any rainfall at that point. For today, north wind coming in at about 10 knots. Remember, we do have some red tide out there in places, but that northeasterly component should be with us for days in a row, and that should help to blow those toxins back out into open waters. So the 7-day forecast shows several nice days, but cooler days. And then on Sunday, I think we start to cloud up late at night. And then on Monday, we'll see the rains come in and the temperatures begin to drop. 64 will be our high temperature. We'll start to see temperatures in the 40s, I think, by the time we get to Thursday into Friday. Some computer models suggest even cooler. I think you're probably looking at a daytime high temperature that for most of us on Friday was going to be in the 50s for daytime highs, right?
All right, thank you, John. Americans are drinking too much. That's according to a new survey done this year. Results show an increase in alcohol use and high-risk drinking behavior for the entire population, but especially among women and older adults. Doctors say it's part of a trend that's been increasing over the past 2 decades.
Women have been more susceptible to engaging in more binge drinking, more high-risk drinking, and we've seen higher rates of alcoholism in the women in the U.S. as well.
The doctor says that high-risk drinking comes with many consequences, both personally and professionally, as well as a safety to others as well. All right, time for lunch. Here's Chef Judy at the Bradenton Beach House.
Happy to be out here on Bradenton Beach at the beautiful Beach House. If you haven't been to this restaurant in a while, you won't even recognize it. This outdoor area is stunning, expansive. You can dine with your toes in the sand or sit under cover. Wonderful bar and lounge area, which we'll go visit in a little while. And the new wine wall and the bar inside is just as lovely as it is out, but with perfect views and delicious food, fresh from the farm and their new bakery. You're going to learn a lot of new innovations here from the Beach House restaurant. So stay with me throughout the hour. We'll talk to the chef, we'll talk to the baker, and we'll have some deliciousness. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
Attention type 2 diabetics. The FDA warns of an increased risk of amputation associated with certain diabetes medications. If you took the diabetes medications Invokana or Invokamet and then suffered an amputation or one of these other serious injuries, call the Rely On Group right now. If you've suffered amputation or any of these other injuries after taking your diabetes medication, call the Rely On Group today. You may be entitled to substantial financial compensation. Call 800-604-1698. That's 800-604-1698.
You can do something about a crime, any crime, and you can receive a reward of up to $3,000 cash. Call Crime Stoppers with information about criminal activity, unsolved crimes, drug dealers, fugitive criminals, stolen property, illegal weapons. Call 366-TIPS. You will remain anonymous. Visit SarasotaCrimeStoppers.com. Download the Crime Stoppers P3 mobile app from the Apple iTunes Store or Google Play. Call Crime Stoppers 366-TIPS. Paid for by the Attorney General's Office, Crime Stoppers Trust Fund.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Florida Studio Theater has extended the 8-time Tony Award winner Once. Captivating and breathtaking, Once is an unforgettable story about going for your dreams and the power of music to connect us all. Critics are calling Once engaging and heartwarming, outstanding, and a flawless production. Audiences are calling it phenomenal and better than Broadway. Once is now playing through January 14th. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
ABC7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
Marcia Panucci joins us now with Adoptable Pet of the Week.
Yes.
This is a special needs baby.
Yes, it is, John.
Beautiful
and,
dog.
Oh, we are just so proud of her. This is Linda, and Linda is 5.5 years old. Isn't she gorgeous? I mean, as Akitas
right?
go, John, she is a perfect Akita. However, she had a very bad eye disease when she was about, maybe 2 or so. And the consensus of the medical profession was they needed to take the eyes out. And so they have sewn that shut. And but if you watched her, you'd never know that she was blind. Her strong sense of smell and the hearing takes over. She has been at Dante's Den now for about 4 months.
Oh, she's
and
so gentle.
She plays with us. She lays at my desk. She loves her treats. She loves to ride on golf carts. Yeah, she loves it. So we put her on a golf cart, and there you are with one of our kennel techs, and she rides around Dante's Den, and she loves it. She loves to ride in cars too. And she puts her little nose out of the window, and she just lets that breeze blow through. So this is just one wonderful dog who shows us that, well, you know, I don't always have to see the goodness. I can feel the goodness.
Exactly. And you know what? Dogs are just amazing. If they have special needs, they don't know it.
They don't know.
They're happy as clams.
Yeah.
I think it's our ideas that project onto them a problem when they have no problem whatsoever. So if they go into a home that's maybe a quieter home, perhaps?
Yes, I would say if she went into a home where, of course, she has to be the queen of her castle.
Well, yeah.
And you know, Akitas are very, very dedicated and loyal. She would not do well at all with another dog or another cat. She's got to be the only pet in the family.
And getting in touch with Dante's Den is the way to adopt.
Well, you can get in touch with Dante's Den at 941-219-3730, or the Akita Rescue Society of Florida at 603-289-8899.
Thank you so much, Marcia. Linda, I hope you find a home really soon. You are a precious, precious animal.
Yes.
Happy New Year to you.
And the same to you, John.
Thank you so very much. Let's jump out to the beach house now with Judy Gallagher. Hey, Judy.
It is such a beautiful day, beautiful food. Feels like a farm stand right behind me. So Chef Will, let's get right into it and tell us about the history of the beach restaurant and how it has evolved recently.
Well, the beach house was purchased by Ed Childs in 1993. He took an old restaurant, the Harbor House, and he did like he did at the Sandbar restaurant. He built a beautiful deck out here so people can enjoy indoor or outdoor dining. And then about 20 years later, Ed decided to do a renovation. The process took about 4 years. And from front to back, we basically redid the whole building and brought it up to date, more current in its architecture. And the ambiance is not too fancy. It offers a good beach dining experience and a casual experience. And the food along with it, our culinary efforts have trended along with what's keeping up with the
As you
pace.
can see, I mean, stuffed squash blossom, soft shell crab. I want to talk about the farm. We have a beautiful display behind me, and that has been some of that innovation and truly, literally farm to table.
Absolutely. Along with our renovations here, we as a company leased 26 acres of land out in Parrish, Florida. It was an existing hydroponic farm, and they have these hydroponic stacks, which we grow a lot of our spring greens in, our Bibb lettuces in. We also grow organic cabbages. So we're partners with another company called Beagle Bay Organics that makes sauerkraut for our restaurants.
Impressive.
So we're reaching out to a lot of different partners locally and around the country.
And you know, you have an in-house baker and bakery section. I see gorgeous artisan breads behind me. We'll find out so much more when we come back and tuck into some of this delicious food. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sunny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get Debt-Free Now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
If high performance art is what you're into, look no further than Sunset Fiat of Sarasota. For maximum performance, check out the all-new Fiat Spider. You'll flip over the superior handling and capability. Or follow roads less traveled in the Fiat 500X. No matter what your passion is, there's a Fiat for everyone. Prices starting as low as $13,999 during the Big Finish event. Going on now at Sunset Fiat of Sarasota.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Live from our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is ABC 7 News at noon. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Welcome back. A fun drive is underway to help a Venice music teacher who is confined to a wheelchair. This is George Lebes. He's been paralyzed for nearly 3 decades since a motorcycle accident. It takes him several minutes to get in and out of the car. Supporters are hoping to raise enough money to buy him a van with a wheelchair ramp.
I'm grateful for any help that can be given to me.
Some really wonderful people have come forward to donate what they can and help out. And, you know, I mean, your heart breaks when you see him trying to get in and out of there. And he's got so much to offer. The students love him. We love him. He's one of the easiest guys to work with. I mean, he's just great.
Well, so far, donors have raised a few $1,000s toward the $20,000 goal. You can donate by going to the GoFundMe page or by calling Troll Music in Venice. A local artist has been announced as one of the winners of a National Illustrators of the Future contest. These creations you're about to see helped the Ringling student Jasmine Richardson enter the contest. Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard created Writers of the Future years ago and created Illustrators of the Future in 1988. Richardson has been drawing since she was a young girl, but she was still stunned when she found out that she won this national contest.
I've always loved drawing because I like to create my own stories and illustrate them as I'd see them, but I never thought of it as a professional career until about 2 years ago. It seemed kind of unreal that I'd win after only submitting twice, when a lot of people submit a lot, which surprises me that I'd get it so quickly.
So she'll take home a cash prize and a trip to Hollywood for a workshop. Past winners of the illustration contest include those who work in comic books, albums, and work in TV and in films. The First Baptist Church in Palmetto has received an anonymous $2 million donation toward a new welcome center. According to the Bradenton Herald, the first day of work will be 126 years to the day that the church first opened its doors. The project will help meet mission goals, church improvements, and also build a path to the children's area. The church is located in South Palmetto near the Bradenton Marina. For the latest on local and breaking news, you can now download our new updated app by going to the App Store at WWSB or My Suncoast. Android users will get the update done automatically. Well, President Trump gave the New York Times a spontaneous, sit-down, wide-ranging interview. ABC's Gloria Rivera has the highlights.
President Trump long labeling the Russia investigation a witch hunt.
I didn't make a phone call to Russia. I have nothing to do with Russia. Everybody knows it.
But now, in an impromptu interview with the New York Times, the president offering a different view of the investigation and special counsel Robert Mueller. It doesn't bother me. There's been no collusion, but I think he is going to be fair.
I think Donald Trump defines that he trusts Bob Mueller in the way that he says, as long as he finds me innocent or my family innocent. If Bob Mueller starts getting close to Jared Kushner or Donald Jr. or the president, I think Donald Trump's tune will vastly change.
The president also reversing course on his China stance, saying he has been soft on China, but now he is reprimanding the country for, he claims, sending oil to North Korea with this warning. If they don't help us with North Korea, then I do what I always said I would do.
I don't think the president wants to get in a trade war. I don't think he wants to get in a situation where he pushes back too hard on China.
He is pushing back on criticism his administration is not working well with Democrats, saying, "We started taxes and we don't hear from the Democrats. You know, we hear BS from the Democrats." The president saying in the new year he hopes to work with Democrats on bipartisan legislation to overhaul health care, improve infrastructure, and other issues. Gloria Riviera, ABC News, Washington.
The Trump administration is repealing an Obama-era rule that sets standards for fracking on federal land. It took effect 2 years ago. Companies were required to disclose the chemicals they were using in fracking and take a number of safety steps. So with the new policy, the oil and gas industries are applauding the repeal, but environmentalists say the move can put people and wildlife at risk, and a court challenge is possible. Fracking, by the way, is short for fracturing. It's a process that involves drilling down into earth to release gas inside rocks. 8 northeastern states are suing the Trump administration after federal officials denied a request that the states say would limit smog pollution from crossing the border from other Midwestern states. They say pollution from the Midwestern states was blowing downwind and impacting the health of residents in the Northeast. Well, that request was denied last month, so they filed a federal lawsuit arguing that the denial violates the Clean Air Act, and they're asking the court to force the EPA to accept their petition. Now the slippery slope towards some crummy weather seems to be underway already, John.
Already underway. Yeah, we have a little bit of cooler weather in store for us right straight through the weekend. But this is typical for this time of year. This kind of temperature in the near 70-degree mark for a daytime high is what we would expect. That's our normal.
We were lucky the past few days then.
We have been lucky, or I guess for months, being very much on the warm side. Now, if people out there who like cold weather, they get their chance this coming week too.
Your turn, that's right.
Your turn, because it is going to turn decidedly cooler out there. A little bit of cloud cover on our tower cam right now. That cloud cover is kind of going to be sticking around a little bit off and on. We're looking at 64 degrees as an air temperature. Dew point is also a little bit lower, so I don't think we're going to have the fog problem tomorrow morning that we have this morning. North wind comes in at about 10 knots with that mix of sun and clouds. You can see all that kind of, so we call it a schmear? Is that you go for schmear? We'll call it a schmear of clouds across the region. But there are breaks in the clouds, and we will get some sunshine poking through. The cloud, by the way, is caused by the frontal boundary sinking southward. And under the cloud, there is no rainfall in progress. The forecast does call for a daytime high near the 70-degree mark, and then this evening the clouds will continue.
All right, talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Well, you've seen highway signs for amber alerts or for silver alerts. Now, this state lawmaker wants to warn you about dangerous criminals in an area. Daytona area state senator David Simmons wants to establish what he calls an imminent threat system. It's a warning to drivers when the public safety is at risk. But he also wants the alert to extend to law enforcement in case schools need to be locked down.
That notification should be given not just to public schools, but to private schools as well as to child care facilities.
The bill is right now under consideration at the committee level in Tallahassee. A Florida Uber driver has been arrested for allegedly driving a stolen Ferrari. Gainesville police arrested 26-year-old Hilburn Hawkins after they say they saw him driving suspiciously with the dealer's sticker still on the window. The license plate revealed the car had been stolen from Palm Beach County. He has been charged with felony grand theft and is being held without bond. That car is worth $240,000. No word yet how he got that car. 3 siblings were reunited with their long-lost sister in Tampa, who they thought had passed away decades ago. After doing a DNA test, they found out that they did have a sister named Amanda, who was still alive. So they drove from Mississippi to Florida to meet her. Amanda is the youngest of the siblings. She also went into law enforcement, just like their late mother.
Many people have their parents for a long, long times. You know, we didn't. And our siblings, half, whole, quarter, doesn't matter. It's everything.
I literally fell to the floor, so it feels great. This has been a long time coming, and I'm speechless.
And guess what? Today is Amanda's 45th birthday, and for the first time, her siblings plan to spend the day with her on her birthday. Well, we have the pineapple drop in Sarasota, but Miami has the big orange. And instead of dropping it, they raise it to represent rising into the new year. That makes sense. The 35-foot orange arrived to the city yesterday. It'll be tested later today. The iconic art piece is made in 4 pieces and has up to 2,000 LED lights. It'll rise from the Intercontinental Hotel in Miami on New Year's Eve. Very nice. Let's go back to Chef Judy now. She is at the Beach House in the city of Bradenton. Judy?
Chef Will, we've moved over so everybody can see the beautiful lounge, beachy lounge behind us, and hold me a couch for later. Let's get into the beautiful cuisine that you've prepared.
Absolutely, Judy. Our first dish is our local Cortez gray stripe mullet. It's lightly fried with, we put a mullet back in there if you want to be adventurous, with our Bradley Store stone ground grits and homemade hush puppies and coleslaw. Then we have our roasted seafood skillet here. It's got a variety of clams, shrimp, scallops, and a lobster tail in there for you, along with our home roasted vegetables. It's delicious. Everybody's
fantastic.
It's in a Lodge cast iron skillet, so it's got a rustic presentation. And then here we have our Joe Island local middle neck clams, and we have some broth here that we'll put over them. They're steamed in white wine garlic butter. They're delicious. And our focaccia crostinis, char grilled, are delicious.
Which is made in-house, I may add.
Absolutely. All our breads are in-house, from our dinner rolls to our sandwich buns, everything. And then over here we have our seafood capellini, which is also shrimp scallops, clams, and lobster, but it's in a kind of our version of a scampi. It's a tomato and garlic butter with pesto and over capellini. It's delicious. That's a very popular item as well. On the end here we have our Florida pompano. It's cooked, we call it Meuniere style, which is lemon butter, capers. It's just slightly browned in a pan, a little dusting of flour, seasoned flour, and that's also with our roasted vegetable medley. In the middle here we have our wild boar. It comes from Mayaca to Punta Gorda, and it is cooked sous vide style. It's delicious with our side spinach. It also has tricolored marble potatoes, roasted pearl onions, and a little bit of wild boar demi-glaze. It's very delicious. We have our classic peel and eat shrimp. That's wonderful.
And it's local, and that's the key. This is Gulf shrimp, fresh from where we live.
Absolutely, right out of the Gulf of Mexico. So over here we have a Lake Meadows Farm natural Cornish game hen, also with our roasted vegetable and our cast iron skillet. That's a company out of Orlando that we deal with. That's part of our local sustainability efforts.
And I love Cornish game hen, and you can't find it too often, so I'm so excited.
They do a really wonderful job providing those birds for us. And then we have our farro and arborio risotto. It's a vegetable risotto. So it's not vegan, but it is a vegetarian offering that we have here. We couldn't make risotto without the cheese, so it's really
And really quickly, the lettuces from the farm.
Absolutely. Our spring greens, along with some of our radishes and our kales and different squashes, come from our farm. And as long as they're available and it's during the season, we bring them from our farm. So not many people could say that.
That's so true. This is just amazing. But wait, there's one more segment, and it's going to be something sweet. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
This holiday season, share the greatest gift of all, peace of mind. Nobody beats Subaru in service quality, vehicle quality, and overall quality. And ALG named Subaru the 2017 top brand for residual value. Now during the Subaru Share the Love event, you can lease the most fuel-efficient vehicle in its class, a new Subaru Outback, for just $229 a month. Or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter hotline if your loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Now your ABC7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we look at an air temperature that is 64 degrees. That 64-degree air temperature, very pleasant outside for a lot of people who have thought that the temperatures have been very warm for just a little bit too long. Those temperatures will continue to fall over the course of the next couple of days as we watch some drier air filter in from the north. We are going to be seeing that northerly wind flow continue on for probably about a week and a half. So temperatures will continue to fall off pretty markedly as we head into especially midweek next week. That's when a secondary surge of much cooler air will continue to lower that dew point value under a north wind. Right now coming in at about 10, that wind will start surging again as we head into midweek next week. 66 in Mayaca, Lakewood Ranch at 65, Sarasota at 64, Venice at 67, so is Northport and Inglewood. A lot of cloud cover around, and the cloud cover is helping to hold down the temperature as well by kind of cutting off the daytime heating. This is all part of a frontal zone that's slowly sinking southward and some drier air filtering in, kind of evaporating away those clouds, or mixing away those clouds, I should say. Under the clouds, there's really nothing in the way of any kind of rainfall for us, but there is precipitation in parts of the country. We have a couple areas of low pressure back to the west that will impact our weather. One of them, a clipper heading south, will move into the Ohio Valley a little bit later on today into tomorrow. And there's our frontal boundary, which will eventually just kind of wash away. It's stalled out right here. It's really not moving much. This low pressure area and this low pressure area will eventually team up to take this cold front and sink it south. Behind it, there's an Arctic chill. In fact, looking at some of the medium-range, high-resolution computer models today, and I posted this on my Facebook page, there could be some temperatures here in the minus double digits by next week in the midsection of the country in the upper Mississippi Valley. That's how cold it could possibly be. The frontal boundary itself sinking southward could trigger off snow showers as far south as the Florida border, actually, by about Thursday of next week, Wednesday or Thursday. Still some discrepancies on computer models about what exactly this will bring us on Monday as the frontal boundary, this is one of two surges, comes southward and develops a little area of low pressure in the western Gulf waters. That area of low pressure will advance in this direction on Monday and bring us good chances of rainfall. Then, as we head into midweek, another surge of that cooler air will continue to drop our temperature. So a bit cooler today, rain-free with a mixture of sun and clouds. Lots of snow showers, again, across parts of the country today, keeping the ground cold as that cold air drains south. So there's not much going on to warm that air as it begins to sink southward midweek next week. Futurecast shows a little more sunshine around tomorrow and then gathering clouds with that low pressure area on Sunday. I think the ball drop should be just fine, should not be any issues there. North wind coming in at about 10 knots. Forecast kind of shaping up like this, 2-foot seas and a light chop. And as we head into ball drop time on Sunday, or pineapple drop, I should say, we should have about a 60-degree temperature, but the clouds will be rolling in on Monday. The rain showers will come in, and then the temperatures will really kind of start to drop. Right?
Thank you, John. Consumer news now. Apple is apologizing to customers and offering a solution to the the dilemma on batteries that left many iPhone users upset. The California-based tech giant admits its most recent software update can cause problems for some iPhones, saying the update slowed older phones to extend battery life. But some saw this as a ploy to get customers to upgrade their phones. A number of class action lawsuits have been filed by customers in several states. In addition to the apology, Apple is also trying to placate customers by dropping battery replacement costs to $29, down from $79. Meantime, Apple is now requiring CEO Tim Cook to fly a private plane, not commercial, for all travel and business reasons. They want to protect their top man for security and efficiency reasons. The total cost of Cook's personal travel on the private plane in 2017 was over $93,000. He's, by the way, the lowest paid executive team member, but don't worry about him. With his massive stock payout this year, in 2017, Tim Cook made more than $100 million. A Texas woman appeared in court yesterday accused of destroying $300,000 worth of art during a date. Police charged her with criminal mischief in the case. It happened on Saturday night. Her date took her back to his apartment after he says she drank too much. Apparently, he tried to call an Uber to take her home, but she refused to leave. Then she hid. Then she allegedly poured red wine on his paintings and threw them on the ground, along with some sculptures. Among the ruined artwork is an Andy Warhol original painting. Talk about a bad date. Still to come, we'll check back with Chef Judy in Bradenton. And Serena Williams is back on the court only 3 months after giving birth. We'll tell you what record she hopes to break next month in Australia.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Hi, I'm Chef Bob. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday morning on ABC7, where we'll be serving up the most awesome dishes. Then stop by your neighborhood Publix, pick up the recipe card and all the ingredients.
The savings are bigger than ever during the Big Finish event at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Why settle for less when you can shop the Suncoast's largest selection of America's favorite vehicles? Come take a drive and see why Jeep Grand Cherokee is the most awarded SUV of all time. Or for impressive off-road performance with a little bit of Suncoast style, shop the area's largest selection of new Jeep Wranglers. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota today.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi. I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
It's been an incredible day here at the Beach House Restaurant, and I've learned so much about all the different culinary programs. And now you need to meet their baker, Chef Teddy. Thank you
Hey
for
there.
having us.
Yeah, I just wanted to go through a couple of the desserts we're doing. Here's our blueberry ice cream cookie sandwiches with white chocolate.
Oh my gosh.
And we've got blueberry cheesecake, the graham cracker crust.
Total New York, that nice thickness.
Yeah,
of it,
absolutely.
right?
With a little twist in Florida too.
And
then we've got key lime pie.
Ooh,
Same
a Florida
graham
favorite.
cracker crust and everything.
And these breads are all from you?
Yeah, so we're doing farmers markets Wednesday through Saturday at Gamble Creek. And we also offer them here at the host stand at the beach house. Baguettes, sourdough loaves, and a couple other things.
Sourdough and baguettes are my favorite. I got to tell you, Teddy, this has been an amazing experience. And when I tried your dinner rolls and your bread, it just made it over the top. So now I'm going to go in for an ice cream sandwich, one of my favorites, and thank everybody here at the beach house. Trust me, if you think this is just grouper sandwiches, you need to come out here. This is a culinary invention tour right here. It's tasteful and delicious, and I hope you have a good weekend.
Thank you, Judy. Fans are bidding goodbye to longtime actress Rose Marie. She passed away at 94 yesterday. She was best known for playing the Sally on the Dick Van Dyke Show back in the 1960s. That role earned her 3 Emmy nominations. Tennis star Serena Williams is gearing up for her big comeback tomorrow in Abu Dhabi. It'll be her first appearance back on the court since giving birth 3 months ago to her daughter Alexis. If Williams wins at next month's Australian, she'll rack up 24 Grand Slam titles, putting her alongside all-time leader Margaret Court. She won the Australian last year when she was 2 months pregnant. Didn't tell anybody. Yeah.
And that's something else.
Perhaps the best female of all time.
Yeah, right. Quite an athlete. So kind of cool over the weekend, but it does look like the ball drop, the pineapple drop will be fine.
See you next year.
You too.